These last 3 months for video games have been kind of a special time for me. March saw the release of Persona 5 Royal, an enhanced version of one of my top 3 favorite games, and April saw the release of Final Fantasy VII Remake, a from-the-ground-up remake of my second favorite game of all time, which I absolutely loved. And May is bringing what is easily my most anticipated release of this year to the Switch. Of course, I'm talking about Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, a remake of my favorite game of all time. Now, on this channel over the last few months, I've made tons of videos on DE, from speculation, release date leaks, reactions, analysis, etc. I've mentioned time and time again about how this is my favorite game, why it's so special to me, so on and so forth. But how did I first learn about Xenoblade Chronicles? Why do I love it so much? Why is Definitive Edition so special to me? It just seems like a small remaster. I'd like to have a bit of a special video today. This is my story of how I found and fell in love with Xenoblade Chronicles. Let's mosey. Now, first of all, when did I first find out about the game? Well, I found out about it in the same way I think a lot of others did, through a certain YouTuber known as Chugga Conroy, though not in the way you might think. On December 3rd, 2011, Chugga released his Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask Part 1 finale, and he mentions at one point how he thanks everyone in the PAL territories who bought Xenoblade, and that Reggie, who was the head of Nintendo of America at the time, was thinking of localizing it depending on how well it would sell. I was only 11 at the time, but the name did intrigue me, and so I went to Google. I spelled the name wrong the first time because I'm a smart kid, and I found a good bit about it, which eventually led me to find out about Operation Rainfall. These guys were a group dedicated to letting Nintendo know about 3 games they wanted to see localized for the West: The Last Story, Pandora's Tower, and of course, Xenoblade Chronicles. After that, I didn't really look too much further into it. Cut me some slack, I was 11, I was thinking more about what Lunchable I had in my lunch that day. But it's not to say the game didn't always sort of stick with me. I always remember the name, and I always heard people talking about it. Then, in June of 2014, Chugga announced that he'd be playing through the game next on his lineup for his channel, and I grew excited. However, like many, I didn't exactly have the game at the time. It was extremely rare after all. So I opted for just watching the game on his channel and saved up money to purchase a copy. But from the first episode to when I bought a copy online, I fell in love with it. The visuals were absolutely stellar aside from the models. The voice work was superb, and the gameplay looked genuinely fun. The environments and the worlds you explore, it was beautiful. Even for the Wii, these areas were sometimes breathtaking. When I first picked up the game and finally played it, I fell in love with it. The first playthrough I did on my own, no guide. And then the second time I played through alongside Chugga's playthrough. Both of my playthroughs, I loved this game. The combat, while simple, was fun and engaging. But what really was great to me was the story that Xenoblade Chronicles set out to tell. A tale of revenge turns into friendship, forgiveness, betrayal, with so many unexpected or plain great twists and turns throughout. When I finished it through, I was always thinking though, how would this game look with better visuals? Don't get me wrong, I think Xenoblade looks great, but it could always look better. For example, the UI is a little bit cluttered, some models look a little bit muddy. I was hoping ever since 2014 for a remake or a remaster of the game. I always had imagined a trailer in my head. The first few notes of the main theme, zooming in on either Magna Falls or Bionis and Mechonis. This was a dream for me. Xenoblade Chronicles HD. Was it going to happen? I was hopeful, and always thinking of the possibility. Then we get to 2019. September 3rd, 2019 to be specific. Nintendo had officially announced a Nintendo Direct for September 4th, which of course caused Nintendo fans to lose their minds, including myself. What was going to get revealed? What was going to happen? Was there going to be any new games? What about Smash content? The speculation was wild. And then, the speculation boiled over when Soraya Saga, an art designer and wife of Monolith Soft's head, Tetsuya Takahashi, retweeted the announcement, which usually means that something was getting announced from that company. This caused a bunch of people, including Xenoblade fans, to speculate wildly. Was it a Xenoblade X port? Was it Xenoblade X2? What about a new IP? But myself and many others said the same thing. What about a Xenoblade Chronicles remake? Throughout the Direct, it was a pretty great one. Banjo got his release date for Smash being right after the Direct, Terry got revealed, and the best announcement of all, Devil May Cry 2 coming to Switch. Just the best time. About halfway through it though, I realized that Monolith still hadn't shown anything. I was wondering if this was even going to happen at all, or if it was just sort of a fluke. And then, the Direct fades to black for one more surprise, and it happens. not many video game trailers can make me cry. I can only think of a few off the top of my head. Final Fantasy VII Remake's reveal in 2015, Breath of the Wild's final trailer, but this, I lost it. Just from the first few notes and the shot of Magna Falls, myself and every other Xenoblade fan knew what was happening. I screamed and cried with a smile the entire time, and lost my shit when I saw Bionis' shoulder. Then, the title drop. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. This was a dream come true for myself and many others. It was finally happening. And then we got no news on it for over 200 days. Yeah, this is definitely a bit of a drought for a lot of us, but that didn't stop me from being excited. For speculating on forums as to what it was going to look like, was there going to be any combat changes, would the voice acting be the same? All of this was exciting. I remember the speculation about Alvis in particular and whether or not he'd actually have a core crystal. But I'll admit, it definitely felt a little bit weird why there was no news for so long. Then, some leaks and rumors. I made a couple videos on this, but 2 different retailers had listed DE for a May 29th release date, which fell in line with some Monolith Soft releases in the past. This kept the hype train going for me, even if it took a little while for more info. Then, in late March, it finally happened. March and February had tons of details about possible new directs, from a Nindies, a full-on showcase to a Smash Direct, things like that. There was a bunch of rumors. However, a major rumor came out on March 25th, when a few insiders reported that a Nintendo Direct was going to be dropping the day after on March 26th. However, with no confirmation from Nintendo, this rumor sadly looked like it fell flat. Then,
long ago, 2 great titans came into existence. The Bionis and the Mechonis. The titans were locked in a timeless battle. Until at last, only their lifeless corpses remained.
Nintendo dropped a Nintendo Direct Mini out of the blue on March 26th, and they started it off with a new trailer for DE, featuring more of the game when it came to the combat, the visuals, the world, and more details on Bionis' shoulder and the newly revealed future connected epilogue, and a release date that confirmed all of the rumors prior. From that point, it was just a bunch of news from that point forward. New videos of cutscenes in the game, re-orchestrated music samples, and so much more. It kind of felt like when Final Fantasy VII Remake got re-revealed last year, and it was just info on top of info on top of info. But I wasn't complaining. And here we are now, less than a few weeks away. Around this time last year, it's weird to think we didn't even know this game was going to be existing. I thought the most likely next thing from Monolith Soft would be either Xenoblade X2 or a brand new IP. But I'm not complaining. I can't be happier with this. The build up to this hasn't been that long, honestly not even a full year, but it's been a really fun one. To anyone who might have joined the channel through videos in the past, or just passing by, I thank you for joining me and many others to this point. And on May 29th, we finally return to the Bionis, once again, now on the Switch, and I for one, can't wait. Thank you, Monolith Soft.